It's my privilege to bring you OM's international update for May 2008. Thank you again for your prayers for us. I've been travelling a lot recently. I was in Singapore for a Bible convention, saw a good response to God's Word, and then directly almost to the States for our ship fundraising weekend, and God's people responded very generously to that opportunity. And then yesterday I was in Germany for our ship board meeting, when we confirmed a decision we'd taken a few weeks ago, but we felt we should review it, and the decision was confirmed to sell Logos 2 at the end of its present ministry voyage in the Caribbean. We'd appreciate your prayers for that we'll sell that to the right buyer, and that all the changes which this involves in the ship ministry will go smoothly. It does mean that we'll be able to concentrate much more on getting Logos Hope really finally up and running into ministry. That work is going well. We continue to need to see funds and professional skilled workers, but we're encouraged at the progress being made. Let me now just update you on some of the work around the world. For example, in Bangladesh, where our new national co-leader is settling in well, but we'd appreciate your prayers for him. Our previous leader had to come back to the UK for health reasons. Many of you have prayed for him, and I'm encouraged to tell you he really is doing much, much better, but we'd appreciate your ongoing prayers. Imagine this situation. It's a real situation. It's in Central Asia. Ahmed is preparing for what he thinks is his last meal. It's a piece of old, hard bread. He can't afford any more food, and he's got no gas to cook. There's no electricity, maybe 2 hours, morning and evening. He's an elderly pensioner living alone in an unheated apartment. The temperature is below freezing outside. Ahmed has heard about Jesus from Christians who visit the local orphanage occasionally. And then, as he's having his last meal, one of the volunteers arrives with a food package to last for the next 2 weeks. Ahmed is so thankful, but he also is beginning to believe, yes, Jesus does answer prayer. Just one of many examples we have to minister in Central Asia at the present time. Something of the love of Christ in a particularly harsh winter. We've had great opportunities in Turkey recently, but appreciate your prayers, particularly for our involvement recently in a book fair where thousands of brochures and booklets were distributed, many New Testaments were sold, and many really good conversations were held with Turkish people. Please pray for ongoing fruit from that opportunity. Nepal is such an interesting and encouraging country to minister in at the present time. Every year we have a 3-month training program there for nationals, many of whom then go on to do a further 12-month course. 186 participated this year. Please pray for them now as they're involved in various ministries throughout Nepal. In Hong Kong, we've had an ongoing ministry for people coming into Hong Kong from the rest of China. 80 to 90% of the people we meet are women, and we offer classes in cooking, in language, in culture to these women. We're also challenging other churches to get involved in this ministry opportunity. It's our privilege to have Mexicans serving in many OM teams around the world: Pakistan, Brazil, Spain, OM ships, and so on. We also work amongst 2 indigenous tribes in Mexico. In one, we've seen a church planted, and there's now about 40 believers worshipping there. In another, we're not actually planting the church, but we're working with a local church, and we've seen an encouraging number come to faith. We'd appreciate your ongoing prayers for that as well. Cross now to South Africa, where 65 people from 15 nations recently joined our training program. For 6 weeks, they'll focus on personal preparation for ministry, gaining practical skills, deepening their relationship with God, and then for the rest of the 6-month course, they'll be involved in practical outreaches all over South Africa, some in rural settings, some in city settings. Pray for protection for the team. Pray that they'll really be used of God and they'll really personally develop spiritually as well. In February, we finally took possession of Lacken House, an ideal property in Southern Ireland for our headquarters there. By God's grace, already 1/3 of the property price has been given, and the rest is being covered by short-term loans at the present time. But it's proving already to be an ideal centre for the work there. Tobias Schulz, our German leader, recently said this: Germany is no longer a secular country. He said people have a deep interest in spiritual things. He talked about major newspapers and magazines carrying articles with titles such as, "What should I believe? What's left behind when I die?" This has prompted OM in Germany to move in two new ways. We're going to have a summer global action team in a deeply troubled neighbourhood in Hamburg, populated by migrants and broken families. And then we're going to have a second team in an eastern city, partnering with a local church there, starting a long-term ministry among youth, which will include a coffee shop, a community house for teaching vocational skills, and so on. Our commitment in Europe, which we've been praying about and developing over the last 2 years particularly, is growing in an encouraging way. Don't forget to pray for Austria during June, and for our preparations, along with many other groups, for outreach during the European Soccer Cup there. Will be some marvellous opportunities to minister to people from all over Europe at that time. Finally, let me just mention two important international initiatives in OM. We're partnering with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, who are based in the States. It's the largest sports ministry in the States. And we're now partnering with them for the development of their ministry internationally. And it's a great opportunity for us. You know how committed we are in OM to sports ministry, and we feel this is going to give a whole new impetus to this ministry. Pray for our partnership with this group and for the partnership as it develops around the world. Now, we're also partnering with a group called Stoneworks. This is a partnership with Belhaven College in the US and ourselves. And this is to see arts used in mission around the world. It's a great partnership. It's just developing. We're going to be able to send people to Belhaven, and they'll get some special training in arts and mission. And then their graduates will be able to work with us in using art in mission around the world. Just two new international initiatives that I'm very excited about. That's just some of the brief highlights from OM around the world at the present time. If you want the full story, I can send it to you by email. Just email me, peter.maiden@om.org, and we'll send you by email our international update. Thanks very much for your prayers, and God bless you.